Good morning. Today is the big day. We're getting this farmhouse that was built in the 1800s spray foamed. If you guys are new to the channel, we bought a 150-year-old farm with a farmhouse, and we came in here and we said there was some water damage in the ceiling. There's a few minor things we need to take care of before we can get everything ready to move in. We're like, we're gonna clean some stuff up, do some painting, do some cleaning. When we came in here, there was water damage on the ceiling, thinking we're gonna put a new ceiling up in this room and stuff like that, no big deal. We got up in there, we took down the ceiling, and we found mouse poop. So we tore down some more, we found more mice poop. And we were tearing over here, and I could hear like some noises in the wall. So I started tearing down this wall. This wall was loaded with poop all the way up to here. I started busting this sheetrock, reached my hand in there, and just grabbed mouse poop. Mouse poop everywhere. Up in the ceiling, up in all of the walls. So we were like, okay, we gotta tear apart this room. The more we tear apart the room, the more we found. The more we found, the more rooms we had to go into. So we come into our in-between room, our bathroom. We call this the old cabin room. We found mice poop in there. The ceilings. We're like, all right, we're getting closer. This room right here is good. We started tearing everything down. We found this whole wall was loaded with poop. So, as you can see, everything is gutted, and we are going to be spray foaming this old 1800 farmhouse and bringing it into the modern time with some modern insulation. One of the great things about spray foam is you don't need to be 24 inches on center, 16 inches on center. You can just fill all of the gaps. So we have an old post and beam structure on this side, which is really cool. Unfortunately, most of it's going to get hidden in the foam. So we got a spray foam up in here because we're 3-4 feet on center on the roof rafters, and they're logs, which is cool, but they're gonna get covered. We have some hand-hewn beams. A lot of that stuff will get covered. So yeah, we're gonna be spray foaming this whole upstairs. We're kind of doing it a little bit out of order. Most people don't insulate right away, but we took down all the insulation that was in here, so it's getting hotter and hotter, and we kind of want to lock in all of the nasties. We've cleaned everything up the best we can. We vacuumed. I've taken my leaf blower, blown all the dust around. We sprayed it down with bleach and a bunch of other disinfectants, so it is as clean as it can get, but we want to spray foam it, lock it in. So today they are coming to stop the spray foam of the upstairs. We will be able to run all of our electrical through these end walls. They are like 8-10 inches thick over here, all the way down. So we're only gonna be putting 4 inches of spray foam in the wall. So we're gonna have a chase all the way down for our wiring. We can run it down that wall and in the interior walls, up the ceilings and down and stuff like that. So that's gonna work. Plumbing is all gonna be coming from here up. So we don't gotta worry about the spray foam for that part. We've thought through as much as we can think of to do this. And then we've been trying to figure out where the rodents have come in. We haven't seen any mice. There is no evidence of mice in the rooms. I shouldn't say that. There was minor evidence of mice being in a house, which this house has been locked up for 11 years. So that's to be expected. Nothing major. But we've not found any live mice in this house. We've had mice traps set up. Bam. 5-gallon bucket ones. Not one mouse. We found a few bats, but nothing crazy. But what I did notice yesterday, while I was kind of giving like my final prep work for cleaning up and getting ready for the spray foam people, because I want to make sure it's clean in here, or as clean as it can be. Blowing it down, vacuuming it, because when you spray foam and you're like like painting, so you're having like dust come back at you if there's anything there. I noticed this. There is the gable end vent. The screen is broken there. And while I was just talking with you guys, I was looking at this one a little bit harder. And look at this. Right there. Not sure if you can see it. Right there, that screen has all been chewed through. So my guess is that is where the mice and the bats have been coming from. They chewed through the screens. So another thing we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna be making this a hut roof. So you saw a gable end vent there and one there. This is 2 houses that were put together. So this is like the original part of the house that have gable end vents. There's no soffit vents, and there was no soffit vents before. And the soffit material outside is all solid. So there's no way that airflow can come up. So there's no point of having gable end vents over there. Second of all, this is a different part of a house that abuts that part. This part of the house has no gable end vents, and this is the peak of the ceiling right there. So this already had a hut roof. This roof over here had basically a hut roof until the last, I'm gonna say like 4 to 6 feet, and then that was just vented from the gable ends to the peak of the roof. So it wasn't really venting anything. So we're gonna spray just to the roof, everything, and make one solid hut roof. So those gable end vents are gonna stay, but they're gonna be getting foamed over. So I'm thinking I will talk with the guys and we will either just say, meh, foam right over them and cover it with something, or I'm gonna go get some hardware cloth and put hardware cloth there so if anything tries to chew through that, they can't. Maybe that's what I'll go do right now. Get some hardware cloth, get that covered, and then I'll cover the hardware cloth with a material that cannot get blown through. So we're just finding out more and more things as we go. But it is good to know where all these critters have been coming in from so we can make sure they don't come back in. So I am excited to find that. We just got to get up there now and fix it. So while we wait for the spray foam, guys, I'm going to go try to find my hardware cloth that I have somewhere because I know I got quite a bit of it, and we'll get that plugged off. All right, I changed my mind, and we are going to go with some plywood over the holes. These vents are no longer going to be venting anyways, and they're going to get covered with foam. We're going to cover them with wood first. All right, this vent's done. Let's go measure for the next vent. All right, those are all sealed off. I like it. So the other cool thing about the rigid spray foam that we're gonna be doing is it's also structural. So everything we're gonna be doing is gonna be adding structural rigidity to the structure, which is good. And then I was just doing some research that bats do not chew. So those chew holes are all from mice coming in or a rodent coming in. And maybe the bats have been using them, but bats do not chew to make holes. They will use holes to come in. But with the screen being knocked down, this screen was probably knocked down from another critter, and the bats have probably been using that to get in. So I think we got it sealed up, which just feels good. We got it all sealed up, which feels good. So now we're ready for spray foam. They're upstairs getting everything prepped and ready to go, and I bet you within less than an hour, they'll be starting to spray the foam. They get everything prepped and ready. Can't wait to see what it looks like once it's all foamed. I don't know, it's one of those things. I love watching the process. the GoPro overheated. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. Actually, I'm gonna put it in the freezer, let it cool off. It's warm up there anyways, and then the foam, as it's drying and curing, it puts off heat. And that's what gets it to expand and to cure. So the camera shut off being too hot. So we'll let it sit in there for a little while. Then we can go back up and do some more filming. It is looking so good.
Where are you? There's one more somewhere.
All right, so I saw 4 bats upstairs. I caught 3 and released 3 so far. I went back up for the 4th one. When I caught the 3rd one, he was flying around. Can't find him now. So I'm assuming he's back somewhere. But I don't think they're gonna like it up there because those fumes are pretty intense. So we'll catch him when he comes back out. It's crazy how hot that foam gets as it's curing. It heats up and then it cools down. So the hottest I saw so far is 170 or 171. And then it's pretty hot upstairs. I should check to see what the temperature is just up there, but it gets pretty warm.
They're gonna let me try.
Wherever's comfortable to you. The heat from that is crazy when you're right there. It's warm up there anyways. And then when you're spraying, you got that 170-degree temperature like this far from your face. Comes right up at you. The foam covers you. Mad respect for these guys. Guys and ladies. Like, you spray your mask with a silicone spray, so that way you can wipe off. And then you can still see. But the crazy part is, you have super like fuzzy vision when you're spraying because you got that silicone spray on your mask. So you can see what you're doing, but you can't see with super detail. It's like when you first wake up first thing in the morning and you got like hazy eyes. That's what it's like spraying that close. So that was fun. I'm gonna let them finish doing it. I'm gonna keep watching and recording because I think it's awesome, but they'll make it look pretty. I was not making it look pretty. I was getting the foam on there and that was fun, but we'll let the pros do it.
Let's go back up. $95. I'm not sure where he's going, but he ain't getting back inside. I know that much.
I've lost count of bats. I'm sure there's at least one more up there. So, time to get suited back up, going up. Maybe get the spray foam done today. See what we get for bats and get them out of here. All right, so we got probably about 3/4 of it done. We're gonna stop here for the day, Gonna let everything cool off. The ceiling they gotta do, I should say, in 2 passes because they're doing around 7 inches of foam in the ceiling. So they gotta put it on, say 3-4 inches thick. It gets so hot. They gotta let it cool off, and then they put another layer on. So this part is all done. They got the 7 inches in the ceiling here, 4 inches in the walls. All down here, we still got a place to chase our wires, which is good. This room, the ceiling's only got about 4 inches. They got to come back in the morning and put another coat on there. This room is all done, which is nice. Just listening to see if I can hear any more bats. I don't think so. We got around 10 out today, and that should be about all of the bats, I think. Yeah, so I think we've had a combination of mice and bats in here. I think the mice probably chewed the holes up in the gable end vents to get in. The mice got out of here at some point, and the bats have been in since. That's my guess. So, yeah. We've got these walls to do, this gable end wall to do. One more, the first coat and second coat in here, and then second coat over here. And then they'll be done up here. It is already looking so much better and so much cleaner up here. And then we're gonna do one more thing before we're done up here. So yeah, I'm gonna go head to the house, cool off. It is definitely hot up here. And then pick it up in the morning. You guys won't even know. See you in a jiffy. It is the next morning. Let's go upstairs and see if we find any bats anywhere. We'll get some windows open and get any of the hot heat outside. I didn't want to leave any of the windows open last night, even though I would have loved to. I didn't want bats flying back in here. So everything was shut up for the night. Is there any bats anywhere? Hello, bats. I think we should have got them all, but you never know. All right, I got the 2 windows open. As you can see, the air is getting sucked out, which is good. Finish cooling it off. They should be here in a little bit to finish foaming, and then we'll pick up the mess. And it already smells so much better up here. It's amazing. A little bit more to do, but yeah, I am liking it, guys. I'm gonna see if they'll let me spray foam again today. Do some on this wall. It's kind of fun, different, but it's a lot of fun. One of the cool things about the spray foam is locking in all of these rafters and collar ties into that ceiling back to this one. It's like gluing everything together. I just love watching the spray foam. It seals everything up, hardens up, and it's just like a big, massive glue. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know I love glue and screws when I'm building projects, and that's what this is doing. It's gluing it all together. It's gonna make it nice and strong. All right, it is looking good up here. It's off gassing nicely. I'm really not smelling anything. We're gonna leave the windows open and we won't be working up here for a little while. Let it ventilate, but man, it is looking good. I had a blast spray foaming. I need to thank them for letting me spray foam. I didn't do by the windows. We'll do that with the window stuff because we don't want to bow the frames and break anything. But man, that was a ton of fun. I can't get over how much heat comes off of the hose, the gun, and the foam as you're spraying, but everything is sealed up nicely. I love spray foam. It just like encapsulates everything and just seals it off. Everything is looking good. It is so nice to see no bats. We had no bats today anywhere, so I'm pretty sure they've been completely evicted. I don't think there's any mice. We have mice traps out. We still have not caught a single mice. I think the mice left at some point, and I'm not sure why, and the bats moved in. And now the bats have been evicted. We'll keep an eye on it, but that is sealed off, and they cannot get in anywhere unless we leave a window open, which we won't be doing. We'll be shutting those up. So it feels good to have this all done. I'm excited to see how much cooler it stays up here now. This house will be super energy efficient once we are all done with it. So yeah, this wall did not need to get foamed on either side, but this was the nasty wall. and where this is a structural wall, I didn't feel like taking off all of the boards. I thought that'd probably do more harm. So we foamed everything, and everything is just encapsulated. So I don't have to worry about any of the mice poop smell or anything happening. It smells so good up here. Everything is nice and clean, which is awesome. If you guys are looking for somebody to do some spray foaming, they are a great company. There is awesome because they clean everything up when they're done. They do a great job. This is like our third time we've used them, and it has been awesome. So yeah, I want to thank Chris and Tina. They've done awesome work for us before, and they continue to do awesome work for us now. I'm sure we'll have them back because I think we're going to be gutting the whole house now. That wasn't the plan, but what we've been finding, I think it needs to get done. We tapered the foam back here on this edge because these floorboards are going to have to come out. So we have it. So we'll have to fix that afterwards once we're done. But I want to be able to remove all of this floor. So that way we can redo the floor up here and keep the hand-hewn beams exposed that we found down below. So all that flooring is going to come out. This flooring, I'm pretty sure, is going to come out. And then the cabin room flooring is also going to come out. So that'll be a bit of a job, but once it's all said and done, it is gonna look so cool to have exposed hand-hewn beams down below. That's just this part of the house. This part of the house we haven't got to yet, and it's different. It does look like it's a post and beam structure, but a different kind of post and beam. So once we tear into this downstairs, we'll find out more. But this is where we're gonna end this video. We're gonna let this air out. It feels good to have the spray foaming done, and it just feels nice and clean up here now, which it did not before. I hope you guys enjoyed the spray foaming as much as me. I had a blast watching it, filming it, and then being able to try doing it. So I could have a job if this YouTube thing ever fails. They said I was good and they'd hire me, so if this video stuff doesn't work out, I guess I'll be spray foaming houses. But this is where we're going to end this video. Thanks for coming along on our farmhouse renovation journey. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.